Welcome back to the Revit Mind. We're back again with a new video in our Parametric Family Creation Series. In this tutorial, we're going to build a parametric workstation family in Revit. This kind of family is especially useful if you work in interior design or office design, where workstations often need to change depending on the space and the project requirements. The workstation we'll create is made up of three main elements. The first is the desktop itself, followed by the partition between users, and finally the drawer unit located under the desk. The dimensions we'll use are approximately 120 by 120 centimeters, designed to accommodate two users sitting opposite each other, with a standard desk height of 75 centimeters from the floor. By the end of the video, this is the final parametric result you'll be able to achieve and use directly in your Revit projects. So, without any further delay, let's get started. At the beginning, we'll open a generic model family template and start modeling the workstation leg. As usual, the first step is to change the units to metric. Then we'll begin by drawing the reference lines for the workstation leg. The total workstation height will be 75 centimeters, but we need to subtract the thickness of the top wooden desk, which is around 18 millimeters. This gives us a final leg height of approximately 0.732 meters. The leg itself will have a thickness of about 5 centimeters. After that, we'll move on to creating the second part, which is the worktop, or the top wooden desk of the workstation. We'll again set the total height to 75 centimeters, and we'll create length and width parameters, making sure they are fully parametric and working correctly. These parameters will allow us to control the size of the workstation easily later on. Next, we'll start creating the partition that sits above the worktop. As usual, we'll begin by placing reference planes to define the modeling area. The partition will be positioned at the height of the worktop, with a 15 cm offset from both the right and left sides, so the proportions stay close to the reference images. We'll then create an extrusion for the partition, apply fillets to the corners, and add the supporting legs that hold the partition in place. At this point, the partition will be complete. After that, we'll move on to modeling the drawer unit. This will be a simple form with a height of around 65 centimeters, positioned about 5 centimeters above the floor, and with a depth of approximately 40 centimeters. We'll add basic details such as the drawer fronts, handles, and the lower support legs to make it more realistic. Once all the main components are ready, we'll open a new furniture family template and start assembling everything together. First, we'll define the overall height as 75 centimeters. Then we'll load the worktop family and place it in the correct position, assigning and linking its parameters to the new family parameters. Inside the family editor, we'll create a new parameter called number of desks, which will be the main control parameter for this family. This parameter will be an integer and set as an instance parameter. Using this parameter, we'll be able to control how many workstations are created without needing to model a new family each time. We'll then add a formula to the worktop length parameter and make sure the equation works correctly. After that, we'll place the right and left workstation legs and lock them into their correct positions using reference lines. We'll test the number of desks parameter to make sure everything responds properly. Then we'll add the middle support legs under the workstation. This part requires a bit more focus, as we'll create a dedicated parameter to control their behavior and test it carefully until we confirm that it works perfectly. Next, we'll load the partition family and place it in the correct position. We'll then create an array and link it to the partition formula, making sure it updates correctly when the number of desks changes. Once everything is in place, the workstation family will be complete. We'll do a final check to make sure all parameters are working 100% as expected. Finally, we'll open a new Revit project, load the family, and test it by changing the parameters to confirm that everything works perfectly in a real project environment. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more parametric Revit tutorials.